She needs you more than you need her. The truth about power in a relationship, psychology tricks. The greatest mistake you can make in life is continually fearing that you'll make one. Albert Hubbard. Most men don't hear this truth until their hearts have been bruised and their confidence drained. In a relationship, you are the prize, not her. That single realization shakes many because we live in a time where men are conditioned to chase, perform, and prove their worth to a woman who may offer nothing beyond surface level attraction. The script has been flipped, and even powerful men now tiptoe around their partners, hoping not to lose them, when in reality, that mindset is what causes the loss. Here's the truth society doesn't say out loud: she needs you more than you need her. Not because you're superior or she's weak, but because real attraction is built on power, presence, and stability, not just beauty. When you are calm, building your life, staying focused on your mission, your health, your finances, and your vision, you instantly become rare. That kind of man is always in demand. She senses it, she desires it, and she respects it. But modern men have been disarmed. Media, cultural narratives, and the false idea that masculinity is toxic have convinced too many men to hand over the power in relationships. Instead of leading, they perform. Instead of setting the standard, they serve endlessly in the hope of being chosen. Yet deep down, every woman wants to admire her man, to feel his quiet strength, to trust his leadership, and to relax into his protection. When you act like she's doing you a favor by being with you, you lose all of that, and eventually, you lose her attraction. If she senses you don't value yourself, she won't value you either. Women test because they're wired to look for strength. If you crumble, constantly agreeing, overgiving, and abandoning your own boundaries, you fail the test. But when you stand firm, when you make it clear that while you choose her, you don't need her, you pass. It's not arrogance, it's self-respect. That's when the power shifts. That's when she leans in. Think about it. Why are the men women chase the hardest always the ones who seem least desperate for them? It's because confidence without neediness creates mystery. Discipline creates respect. Detachment creates desire. Meanwhile, the man who gives away his time, his energy, and his identity on day one kills the attraction before it even begins. She doesn't want to be your mission. She wants to join a man who already has one. This isn't about attacking women. It's about waking men up from the dangerous belief that love means surrendering your strength. Real love is two whole people choosing each other, not one desperate person clinging to the other. The moment you reclaim your worth, you stop begging for her validation and start commanding respect. And when that happens, everything changes because the truth is, she needs you far more than you need her. And it's why we need to break this down right now. 1. Stop chasing, start choosing. Most men grow up being told that the only way to win a woman's heart is to chase her like she's the last bus leaving town. But let's get this straight. Chasing isn't masculine, choosing is. A man who chases signals desperation, but a man who chooses radiates power. That is the truth about power in a relationship, and it's something female psychology has understood for centuries. When you chase, you hand over control before the relationship even begins. You're basically shouting, "My value depends on your approval." And that is the fastest way to lose both respect and attraction. Don't forget, movies glorify chasing, but in real life, it kills magnetism. A man begging for validation isn't desirable, he's disposable. The psychology tricks women instinctively use make them pull away when they sense you're too available. They feel it, they know it, and once you've made yourself predictable, you're no longer exciting. Choosing, on the other hand, is a different energy. Choosing says, "I know my worth, and I'm evaluating if you're worthy of entering my world." That's quiet confidence. That's the mindset of a king. You're not hunting, you're selecting. You're not trying to win her over with empty gestures. You're calmly watching, listening, and deciding if she adds to your life or just distracts from it. Ask yourself bold questions. Does this woman align with my values, my peace, my mission? When you move from that frame, you automatically flip the power. And here's where it gets interesting. Psychology tricks show us That mystery fuels attraction. The guy who doesn't sweat her, doesn't bombard her with texts, doesn't beg for her attention, that's the guy who ends up pulling her in. Why? Because he's not needy. He's selective. He's not looking for someone to complete him. He's already complete. That contrast alone is magnetic. Picture two men at a party. The first man sees a beautiful woman and immediately unloads his arsenal, compliments, drinks, jokes, anything to impress her in the first 5 minutes. She smiles politely, but deep down, she's already bored. The second man notices her but doesn't rush. He's calm, enjoying himself, engaging others. When their eyes finally meet, he doesn't smother her with flattery. He holds his frame, asks bold questions, and makes her feel like she's the one being interviewed. Which man do you think she'll chase later? That's the secret of female psychology. It responds not to desperation, but to calm strength. And if you're wondering how to fall in love without losing power, it starts here. Don't make her the mission, make her the addition. This doesn't mean being cold or arrogant. Don't mistake confidence for cruelty. Be kind, but be selective. Don't throw away your crown because she has a pretty face. Don't measure your worth by how many women you can impress. Measure it by your ability to stay grounded, intentional, and clear on what you want. That's what makes you unshakable. That's what keeps you in control of your emotions instead of being controlled by them. The moment you stop chasing, women feel the shift. Suddenly, they're the ones leaning in, trying to figure you out, investing more effort because they sense they can't control you. And that, gentlemen, is how psychology tricks work in your favor instead of against you. So here's the takeaway. Chasing says, I need you to feel whole. Choosing says, I'm whole already, and I'll decide if you fit into my vision. One is weakness, the other is power. One is reactive, the other is intentional. Which one do you think women respect more? Stop playing the role of the desperate pursuer and step into the role of the man who owns his energy, his mission, and his choices. That's the man women can't ignore. That's the man they respect, admire, and yes, fall in love with. 2. Attention is not love. Never confuse being wanted with being valued. One fades when the novelty wears off. The other lasts when the storm comes. Let's destroy a dangerous lie that has trapped too many men for too long. Attention is not love. Just because a woman replies to your texts, laughs at your jokes, or sprinkles in a little flirtation, doesn't mean she's emotionally invested in you. Don't confuse sparks with fire. Don't confuse convenience with commitment. Attention costs her nothing. And for some women, giving it is nothing more than a reflex, a way to feed the ego, not build a bond. Here's the truth you must swallow. Some women will keep you around not because they want you, but because they like the fact that you want them. That is not love. That is ego maintenance. And if you mistake that little drip of attention for real connection, you'll end up orbiting her life like a satellite while she enjoys the gravity of your devotion without ever landing in yours. Picture this. You meet a woman. She's beautiful. She smiles at you, compliments you, replies quickly at first. You start thinking she sees something in you. Then, almost overnight, her responses slow down. She seems distant. And when you ask what's wrong, she says the most predictable line. Nothing. I'm just busy. You're sweet, but I'm not ready. Translation? She was never in. She only enjoyed the chase. You weren't her man, you were her entertainment. And because you confused her attention with love, you now feel responsible for keeping the spark alive. But a high-value man doesn't beg to be chosen. He chooses himself first. This is where many men fall into the trap. They pour loyalty, time, energy, and masculine energy into a woman who was only giving them crumbs. They become emotionally attached to a fantasy they built from emojis and late-night conversations. And when she drifts away, they feel betrayed, yet she never promised anything real. The pain doesn't come from her rejection. It comes from realizing you gave her the role of a partner when she was only auditioning you as a backup. I've seen it countless times. A man meets a woman at work. She laughs at his jokes, sends him texts, maybe grabs coffee. He thinks, wow, she gets me. Meanwhile, she's dating someone else. He becomes her emotional boyfriend, her safe space, her ego boost, her on call therapist. But never her man. Why? Because he mistook her attention for love. And when he finds out the truth, he feels used. But the reality is, he ignored the signs. Attention is cheap. Love is costly. Love invests, sacrifices, and commits. So, how do you protect yourself? The answer is simple: judge consistency, not intensity. Some women will come in hot daily texts, calls, compliments, even intimacy, but they vanish as soon as you stop chasing. That's not love. That's a test to see how much value they can extract from you. A woman who truly loves you shows up when it's no longer fun, when the honeymoon glow fades, when life gets tough. That's when you see the difference between emotional curiosity and emotional commitment. Don't be fooled by sweet words and flirty signals. Be a man who watches her actions when you stop feeding her attention. Does she invest when you're focused on yourself? Does she respect your boundaries? Does she stay steady instead of vanishing into excuses? That's where truth hides. Remember, a woman who values you won't keep you guessing. When you stop confusing attention with love, you filter out the women who only want the validation of your desire. You make space for the woman who wants your heart, not just your presence. That's the paradox. When you stop chasing attention and start requiring commitment, you actually attract women who are ready to build, not just play. So slow down, breathe, recognize the power of your masculine energy. Don't give it away to every woman who tosses you breadcrumbs. A high-value man doesn't get hypnotized by attention. He demands respect, loyalty, and action. The next time you find yourself flattered, ask yourself, is this real or is this just noise? Is she building with me or just keeping me around? Because when you finally understand that attention is not love, you'll stop being her option and start being your own priority. And that's the real truth about power in relationships. 3. Power shifts when you beg. Let me tell you something every man over 35 must hear with clarity. The moment you beg for a woman's attention, her time, her love, you've already surrendered not just pride, but power. Don't ever forget it. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength that is old Stoic wisdom. That is the iron mind you must build if you want Stoicism win in love and in life. Men start strong. You begin with purpose. You're in your lane. You're not glued to your phone, not bending your life around her, not desperate for replies. But then something shifts. She pulls away, becomes colder, less available, and instead of holding your frame, you bend. You start reaching, chasing, overcompensating, trying to fix what doesn't need fixing. That's where the fall begins. That's where the power flips. Because when you beg, whether it's for affection, attention, or clarity, you don't look strong, you look weak. Neediness isn't love, it's dependence. And dependence makes her pull further away. Remember this: begging communicates, "You are the source of my worth." That message kills your value instantly. Here's the cold truth: when she sees you're willing to beg, she knows she has control. She doesn't have to earn your time. She doesn't have to show up consistently. She doesn't even need to invest, because no matter what she does, you'll still be there. That's not love. That's imbalance. That's how you lose yourself. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." If your emotions rise and fall on her behavior, you've chained yourself to her mood swings. You've handed over your masculinity on a silver platter. But let this echo in your mind. You were valuable before she came into your life, and you will be valuable if she walks out. Your worth was never meant to be defined by her response. If it is, you've lost more than a woman, you've lost yourself. Understand this: begging doesn't look romantic. It doesn't look noble. It looks like desperation. And desperation never inspires closeness. It inspires distance. The man who knows his worth doesn't beg. He speaks once, sets his standard, And if it's not met, he walks away with dignity. That is strength. That is an iron mind. But the man who begs, he sticks around when he's ignored. He tries harder when she withdraws. He apologizes for things he didn't do just to keep the peace. And in doing so, he trains her to never respect him. Don't be that man. Don't trade your power for scraps of attention. In modern life, this truth is sharper than ever. Social media is full of men broadcasting their desperation, chasing validation in comments and messages, confusing likes with love. Don't fall for that trap. Let others play that game. You must rise above it. Stand grounded in your mission. Build your body, your business, your purpose. That's what makes a high value man. Not begging, not chasing, but building. When you stop begging, people notice. When you stop overgiving, she feels the shift. When you pull your energy back, you remind her you are not dependent, you are decisive. That's when respect returns. That's when attraction grows. So here's your instruction. Never beg. Don't wait until you're drained. Don't let your boundaries be broken. Don't hand over your worth to someone else's hands. She needs you more than you need her, but only if you remember your power. Only if you refuse to kneel when you were born to stand. You're not here to beg. You're here to build. You're here to lead. You're here to win. And the man who wins in love and life is the man who masters himself. That's Stoicism win. That's old Stoic wisdom in action. That's the iron mind you must live by. If you found this message valuable, give this video a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom on relationships and psychology tricks. Your worth is not up for negotiation. It was never built on her validation. Comment below to remember, I never beg, I know my worth. 4. Emotional control, shock attraction. Most men never realize that emotional control is the ultimate power move until life forces them to see it. But the truth is simple. If your emotions control you, she can control you. And the moment she feels like she has that power, attraction dies. Let's be clear. You don't have to be cold or heartless. In fact, female psychology responds most strongly to men who feel deeply but are not slaves to those feelings. Because psychology tricks and patterns of attraction show us that women crave stability, not chaos. As Marcus Aurelius once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Think about it. How many men spiral into panic when she doesn't text back, lose their cool when she gives them attitude, or overshare their insecurities too early, hoping it makes them authentic? That's not authenticity. That's recklessness. Authenticity means you process what you feel, reflect, and then respond with clarity and calm, while recklessness is snapping, sulking, or begging for attention. And here's the key. Women may not explain it out loud, but when they sense you are emotionally unstable, they don't see strength, they see liability, and liability is the opposite of attraction. A man who holds his frame, who can hear no without collapsing, who can face her storms without mirroring them, radiates a kind of quiet power that female psychology instantly respects. This is why psychology tricks about how to fall in love emphasize discipline and self-mastery, because nothing is more magnetic than a man who stays calm when everything else is chaos. Don't be the man who argues like a teenager, chasing validation with every word. Don't be the man who spirals after one cold response. Don't be the man who collapses when tested. Be the man who knows that women test not because they want weakness, but because they want reassurance that they can lean on you when life gets heavy. That is why the most attractive men are not the loudest or flashiest. They are the ones who move with composure, who can love without losing themselves, who can walk away from disrespect without a scene, who can look at her storm and say silently, I will not be shaken. Carl Jung once wrote, the man who looks outside dreams, the man who looks inside awakens. And here's the bitter pill. If you find yourself losing emotional control over every interaction, it's not about her. It's about you not building yourself up enough. If you were truly focused on your path, strengthening your body, sharpening your mind, growing your income, pursuing your mission, you wouldn't even have the bandwidth to obsess over one unread text. You'd be too busy becoming the man you're meant to be, a man of purpose, a man of power. Remember this: women don't admire the man who needs constant reassurance. They admire the man who gives reassurance simply by his presence. They don't want to carry the burden of your emotional chaos. They want to feel lighter because of your stability. So master your emotions because mastery makes you rare, and rarity is magnetic. That's the real psychology trick of how to fall in love and how to stay in love. It's not flowers, not money, not empty charm. It's strength, clarity, and calm. As the Stoic Epictetus wisely said, no man is free who is not master of himself. Be the man who holds steady when tested, who refuses to be ruled by noise, who leads not by force, but by presence. Because at the end of the day, what makes you irresistible is not perfection. It's the unshakable calm that turns her doubt into desire and her fear into faith. Be that man. 5. She tests you to find a leader. A queen doesn't test her king because she wants him to fail. She tests him because she wants to know if his crown is real. Many men crumble when they feel a woman is testing them. She gets moody, questions your choices, withdraws her warmth, or throws in a little chaos just to see how you'll handle it. And instead of standing firm, most men fall apart. They doubt themselves, they chase harder, they turn into beggars for affection. That's the death of attraction. Don't mistake it, she's not doing it to be cruel. She's doing it because deep inside, she wants to know if you are a leader. Women don't consciously sit down and plan these tests. It's instinctual, woven into female psychology like gravity is woven into the earth. It's her way of asking without words, can I trust this man to lead not just me, but himself? That is the truth most men ignore. A woman doesn't want to be the one steering the ship, no matter how loud modern culture screams otherwise. She wants to feel your clarity, your grounded direction, your masculine energy steadying the storm. She's checking if you're a high-value man or just another boy in a man's body. Think of it like a lioness nudging the lion. She's not trying to overthrow him. She's making sure his roar still carries weight. And if you fail that check, if you get emotional, if you beg for her approval, if you melt into insecurity, she sees right through you. She realizes you don't lead, you follow her moods. And once she feels that, the attraction dies. Not because she's heartless, but because her instincts whisper, this man cannot protect my peace. Don't panic when a woman pulls back. Don't beg when she questions you. Don't crumble when she pushes against your frame. That is your moment to stand tall, to breathe, to stay calm, to show that your values don't bend just because she's upset. You must be unshakable, not cold, but firm. Because when you remain steady, you radiate the kind of presence that makes a woman exhale and relax into trust. She knows she's with a man who won't collapse under pressure. She knows she can give you her heart without worrying it will be dropped the second life gets messy. A lot of men misunderstand this game. They think pleasing her every mood will make her love them more. Wrong. That only teaches her that you're a puppet waiting for strings to be pulled. Don't do it. Be kind, but don't be a pleaser. Be attentive, but don't be spineless. A high-value man doesn't chase validation, he gives direction. And paradoxically, that's what makes him attract women even more. Women don't fall in love with a man they can control, they fall in love with the man they can trust. Here's the paradox. The less you seek her approval, the more her respect for you grows. When you stop chasing and start choosing, you unlock real masculine energy. That is what keeps her tests from shaking you. That is what makes her stop testing in the first place. Once she feels your grounded strength, the tests fade, replaced by trust. She surrenders, not in weakness, but in confidence, because she knows she doesn't have to carry the burden of leadership. You've shown you can carry it. Remember this: when a woman challenges you, she's not asking for weakness. She's asking for strength. She's asking for a man whose word means something, whose direction holds steady even when the seas get rough. So when she throws the storm at you, don't flinch. Smile. Hold your frame. Be the rock she can lean on, because in the end, she doesn't want to be in charge of the relationship. She wants to feel your presence, your clarity, your leadership. And once she does, she'll follow you willingly, not out of fear, but out of trust, admiration, and love. That's the hidden truth. She needs you more than you need her, but only if you step into your role as the leader. Only if you live as the high-value man who leads with strength, not desperation. Only if your masculine energy is stable, unshaken, and sure. Be that man, and you'll never have to chase. You'll only have to choose. If this message opened your eyes, like this video, share it with a brother who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more wisdom. Comment to remember, I lead with strength, not emotion. 6. Purpose before partnership. Men, listen carefully. Without purpose, no relationship will ever satisfy you. The greatest trap is to crown a woman as your life's mission before you've even discovered your own. Too many men surrender their goals the moment they fall in love. They toss aside discipline, neglect their vision, and sacrifice their drive, believing that keeping her happy is enough. But as Marcus Aurelius taught in Meditations, a man's worth is no greater than his ambitions. Without direction, you are nothing more than a ship without a compass, drifting, unstable, and untrustworthy. She may smile at you for a season, but deep down, she will sense that you don't know where you're going. And a woman cannot feel safe with a man who has no map for his life. That is truth, unshakable and eternal. Don't make the mistake of thinking she wants to be your world. She doesn't. A woman doesn't want to become your entire mission. She wants to follow a man who already has one. She wants to step into your story, not be forced to write it for you. That's why your mission must always come before your partnership. Build your body, build your finances, build your skills, sharpen your discipline, forge your vision. These are not side tasks. These are the foundation of who you are. When you stand on purpose, you radiate clarity, and clarity breeds security, and security breeds attraction. That is old Stoic wisdom in action. Purpose first, desire second, because a man who puts mission above everything carries an iron mind that cannot be swayed. Think about the men you respect most, those who left their mark on the world. They never sacrificed their path for fleeting approval. They understood what Epictetus declared. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. That is the standard. That is what separates men who attract from men who beg. The one who sacrifices his mission for the temporary comfort of a woman becomes disposable. But the man who keeps his eyes locked on his higher calling while still choosing her, he is rare. Rare men don't chase. Rare men don't plead. Rare men attract. And attraction built on strength lasts longer than attraction built on neediness. So stop making her your purpose. Stop rearranging your life just to keep her near. Instead, make your purpose your highest priority. When you do, the right woman will crave to stand beside you, not because you begged, but because she sees the fire in your eyes, the stability in your steps, and the strength in your iron mind. In modern life, this principle is even more vital. Distractions are everywhere. Social media, empty pleasures, cheap validations. If you let these things define you, you'll be another man who wastes decades chasing attention while his soul starves for meaning. Don't let that be you. Be the man who understands Stoicism win, the victory of self-mastery over self-indulgence. Remember, women may admire your charm, but they will only stay loyal to your direction. They may enjoy your company, but they will only respect your discipline. They may love your heart, but they will only trust your iron mind. Purpose before partnership. Burn this into your being. As Seneca wrote, if one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable. The winds of life are wild and unpredictable, but if you hold fast to your mission, you cannot be shaken. That is your compass. That is your strength. That is your victory. So let me say it again for the men who need to hear it 3 times before it sinks in. Don't make her your purpose. Don't hand over your destiny in exchange for her approval. Don't build your life around her and hope it holds. Be the man who builds himself first and then chooses her from a position of strength. That is how you master life. That is how you honor old Stoic wisdom. That is how you claim your Stoicism win. 7. Respect is the real currency. Respect is the true foundation of power in any relationship. And if you want to understand female psychology and master the psychology tricks that separate high value men from the rest, you must grasp this. Attraction may light the spark, but respect is the oxygen that keeps the fire alive. And once respect is gone, nothing else you do will save it. Don't fool yourself into thinking you can demand respect with words alone, because respect isn't demanded, it is earned, and it is earned through consistency. That means consistency in how you carry yourself, consistency in how you treat her, and consistency in how you live by your own standards, no matter the pressure. Be a man who refuses to bend just to please, because every time you tolerate disrespect, every time you let her talk down to you, every time you break your own rules for fear of losing her, you're teaching her that your words mean nothing. And when your words mean nothing, your presence means nothing. That is the brutal truth of female psychology, and if you ignore it, you will pay the price. You must understand that respect is the real currency of love. Without it, attraction fades, commitment crumbles, and what's left is emptiness dressed up as romance. Don't compromise your standards for a kiss, for attention, or for the shallow hope of how to fall in love, because the fastest way to destroy her trust is to show her that you don't even trust yourself. Keep your frame, speak with clarity, lead with integrity, treat her with kindness, but never abandon your dignity. That is the formula every man must live by if he wants to master the psychology tricks of relationships, because a woman will test you, challenge you, and push you, but deep down, she only admires the man who stands tall through the storm. She doesn't admire the man who caves in. She admires the man who can be loved and trusted. And that admiration is built on the backbone of respect. Love without respect is nothing but infatuation that fades when life gets hard, while respect without love is just fear that poisons the soul. But when a woman both loves and respects you, that is when loyalty becomes unshakable. Don't mistake attention for affection. Don't mistake validation for respect. Don't sell yourself cheap just to feel wanted. Be the man who commands respect by how he lives, not by what he demands, because that is the only way to make her respect permanent. Respect is the glue, the currency, the foundation, the invisible energy that holds everything together, and without it, no amount of charm, money, or effort will save you. Guard it fiercely. Demand it through action, not words. Live in a way that makes her give it freely. And remember, once respect is gone, nothing else matters. The real psychology trick is not figuring out how to fall in love, but how to stand as a man she can't help but love and respect. Because in the end, it's not the games you play that win her loyalty. It's the strength of your standards, the clarity of your vision, and the unshakable way you hold the line. Brothers, let me leave you with this. The truth about power in a relationship isn't complicated. It's about who you choose to be. The moment you see yourself as the prize, everything changes. Don't hand away your strength by putting her on a pedestal. Don't act like you're lucky just to get her attention. That mindset keeps you weak. You must build yourself into the kind of man who doesn't beg, doesn't chase, but chooses with clarity, calm, and confidence. Work on your body, sharpen your mind, discipline your habits, and protect your peace. That is where real power comes from. That is when female psychology naturally responds, because a woman is drawn to masculine energy that stands tall on its own, not a man who kneels for approval. My advice to you is simple but life-changing. Stop living like she's the center of your world and start living like you are the foundation of your own. When you master yourself, when you set boundaries, when you value your time, You will attract respect and love without ever losing your dignity. This isn't about being arrogant, it's about being balanced. And balance is what creates strong relationships. So remember this: psychology tricks may help you understand how to fall in love, but discipline, purpose, and self respect will keep you from falling apart. I want to thank you for being here with me today. I truly respect every man who listens all the way through because it shows you're serious about change. Drop your story in the comments. Tell me where you've given away your power before and what you're doing now to reclaim it. Don't hold back. I'll be reading, I'll be responding because this is more than one video. It's about rebuilding a generation of men who know their worth. So stay strong, keep standing tall, and never forget, you are the prize. If this message hit home for you, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more, and share it with a brother who needs to hear it today. And type "I am the prize" in the comments so I know you're stepping into your power. Until next time, take care of yourself and live like the man you were meant to be.